Okay. So, it's this time of the week again. Let's see if we are live. Okay, so is there audio? Is everything good? Can we start? Audio works, cool. Okay, so how are you doing, guys and girls? Hope you had an excellent weekend. So, what are we gonna to do today is we are going to look into the bug submitted by Sebastian last week about the motion tracking. Well, no, I'm not a Pablo. It's developer stream. It's not the Blender today. So we will be looking into the bug submitted by Sebastian Koenig about the motion tracking, which seems to fail in certain conditions when you track backwards. I will try to send a link. So this is the bug we'll be looking into. Hey Matt. Artsy meeting. Well, say hi to all the artists. Okay, so for the website, there will be a statement later. I don't do any official statements here. So anyway, so first things first, let's verify that the bug does actually happen. Start the Blender, open the file, and the bug suggests that if you track backwards from frame 135, it fails. Let's verify this. So what? 136. Okay, so let's try to track backwards. Okay, and it does fail. So what I do is I do Alt left to track backwards, and as you can see, it indeed does fail. And then let's try to clear. And if you clear, things indeed do work. Okay, so what that could be? That's a very good question. And one educated guess would be that this is caused by the predictive tracking, because the way how the tracking works, we use the Kalman filter, which uses the current known information of the track, and it tries to project the trajectory of the marker on the next frame. So this is the first aspect, I would say, because if you clear the history, you remove this information which predictive tracker is using. So probably because of wrong prediction, stuff fails. So I vaguely remember this part of the code, but let's go and try to find it. How to track? Predict tracks. Okay, let's make font slightly bigger. Hopefully this is all visible. So I already glanced last Monday when I saw this bug report. So here is the function predict marker positions. So this is what is used, but okay, so first let's try to see what happens if we force to not do the prediction tracker by just returning the false. Takes a while to link. Okay, Chrome, don't procrastinate. Don't delay, procrastinate today. Blender, let's try to track. And okay. Now the tracking backwards works as well. So, which makes me wonder. So let's see what happens in this function. Hello, final flash run augment. Why auto track add-on is left alone? I wouldn't know. It's a community add-on. Would be nice to have auto tracker as the core functionality. Oh, come on. Okay. Track backwards. Okay, so what do we have so far? So, so we have this insert at and insert before indices. Because we're tracking into the, we're tracking backwards into the gap. So insert at is properly -1. Insert before is also correct because there is information after that frame. Okay. So far so good. Oh, that's a very great question. So why 8 points are required? that basically goes back to the math, because what happens is you need to, the solver uses two cameras to get an idea of what the depth of the scene is, and it needs to have enough parallax, and it also needs to have enough information to reconstruct the relative position of the cameras. And so what's that? It's 6 degrees of freedom, so you need to have enough information for the equation to have a solution, and the information is coming from the known positions of the tracks. So we need to have at least 8 correspondences from one frame into another, so you have enough of the, so you have enough information to match them across, put into your equation, and get your matrix. Oops, that's the wrong window to get down. Well, the perspective is part of the calibration of the camera, and we do calibrated tracking. Oh, Blender L, yes, exactly. Thanks for mentioning this information. I just don't know if that will scare a lot of people from here, but yes, it is exactly 8-point algorithm for the fundamental matrix. Okay. So, anyway. So, didn't find existing marker. Okay, what if we continue and try to do forward? Insert add. Okay. Laser squares, yes. Lasers are cool. Okay, so what happens here is the algorithm is trying to detect in which direction to track, to predict based on which information you have. And what's going to happen, let's delete breakpoints, go to Blender. Oops. So the algorithm tries to see which information we already have and which we are missing to make an educated guess in which direction to predict. But then the issue with this approach is if you're trying to predict from position where you have information before and after It's you cannot make a decision of direction just based on which markers you have. Okay, so one of the ways to deal with this is to give some explicit information which direction to track. Let's try to do this. Very true, because we are predicting into the marker. Although, can't say that it's correct. I am Russian. Well, originally from Russia. Now, it's a hard question. All the jets are cool, I would say. Is Blender a mixture between C and C++? It's more than that. It's C, C++, some Python, CUDA, OpenCL, all sorts of things, depends on the area. Hey Andy, how are you doing today? Welcome diversion from all the meetings, yeah. Becomes a bit entangled. It has become entangled. Let's try again. Like we not only need to know the direction, we also need to know the positions and passing them through. Yeah. I think. Still fail somewhere. Uh, Hey, Sebastian. Back party. Hello, Izamir. Well, okay, so there is this guy. Let's see where it is called from. Hello, Kisar. I'm sure I'm pronouncing the name wrong. Okay. I need to pass information. No. Reference from the right. Eek. Oops. So that's where we are. So we need to pass some information from Blender all the way to the prediction code. There are two ways to do it. Either do it explicitly or base it on the reference frame number. Actually, probably on a reference frame number it wouldn't be too bad. So if the reference frame number is in the future, if it's in the future, is there any case when we want to track forward using the reference from the forward direction? it will be a bit weird, so let's try something simple first. Okay. We might end up passing it explicitly because there is some provision for witness cameras, so you wouldn't really know if the clip is different. You wouldn't know if you want to go back or forward. Okay, so let's just do it. Let's just do it explicitly. Hard to type. Oops. Well, it's not too fast. It's just converting options from the generic track region options to the more specific prediction, because we might want to run prediction on something outside of the auto tracker or the region tracker. So there is this separation. The next annoying separation will be the what we call CIPI, because the Blender side is implemented in C, and it cannot directly call C++, so there is this level of IPI which converts C calls to C++. Hi, Sim. Yeah, hopefully there is something to be learned. That would be cool if you can learn. Where do we assign this? God. Huh. Okay. Well, first of all, where am I again? Ocean model, that's fine. Options. Hi, Sebrin. How does this work? Oops. So think there is potential fragility. Transform, rotation, scale. Rotation, scale are fine. Okay. We can clean this up. Blender 2 GB RAM support. What do you mean by that? Okay. That's that. Oops. How did you come with a potato PC? Also, is it potato PC or potato PC? Not potato, potato. Potato, potato. Torte, torte. How do you like code from 9 years ago? Well, excellent question. It's like, Sergey, why did you do this? There are nicer ways. No, don't do it. I think it will compile. to this. Oops. It cannot be like that. There are no enum classes in C, unfortunately. Maybe one day. Log potato. Severity level potato. Solid log sync engage. Enum class. It's enum class. My enum value. You can just do variant 1, variant 2, and then to use those you need to specifically use this notation. It's a shortcut for the so in the old style we will do this, right? So the enum class is a short version of class and enum defined in the class. So now we need to take care of this function. Posture check, yeah. Ooh. Something I don't particularly like of the way how we used to using Boolean flags. No. Because there is this backwards. Not a huge fan of it, but oh well. Okay. Print picking, it's fine. Oh well. Really need to wrap it into some sort of context structure, because that's really annoying. Now, yes, Imran. There was a question earlier. How does it feel to see code from 9 years ago? Well, that's exactly how it feels to see code from 9 years ago. Why do you like Visual Studio? Well, first of all, that's Visual Studio Code. That's a great naming schemes from Microsoft, just to make Google searches more interesting. And I don't know, it just feels way more modern than anything else, and a lot of stuff comes as the built-in functionality, other than you writing your own scripts in eLisp or whatever it is. You want all those fuzzy searches, it works out of the box. You want the for simple navigation, it works pretty much out of the box. And some years ago, it also the syntax highlight was way faster. That's one side of the parts of the code which I noticed. It seems like the syntax highlight takes longer and longer and longer. And in some other editors I was using, it just the VS Code was way faster for syntax highlight. The Visual Studio itself, the fact that it has built-in debugger, which you can just use, that feels just nice. You don't need to do all those terminal JDB sessions, or you don't need to do the JDB interface, this inter-process communication with your IDE. I had many times when this integration gets lost and then you are chasing some hazing bug, you finally manage to reproduce things, and then IDE tells you, hey, sorry, something went wrong with this inter-process communication, so please restart debug session. It's like, oh. But that being said, nothing is really perfect, so there is always cons and pros. That's a lot of info. Yeah, just try the Visual Studio Code, try other editors and see what you find yourself more familiar and easier going with. You can use Midnight Commander, you can use Notepad++, it's whatever is more convenient for you. I'm predicting forward. That's wrong. And all it says that's predicting forward, it does the proper job for whatever reason. So let's debug something. But yeah, just don't be afraid to experiment with different things and try them out. Yeah, I did try Qt. It's how do I put it? It's a bit weird. I mean, it also a bit depends, is it Qt Creator you're talking about or Qt Library? Qt Creator is not too bad. What I found a bit weird is their default debug window configuration leaves you with the very tiny code window, and they put all those watch windows and whatnot all around, and it's like, oh, that's suboptimal. Vim plus C tags on cleat GDB. Oh. And hey Danny, how are you doing? Did you sleep well? tired. Wonder why. Okay. So tell us direction backward. Oops. I cannot type. Predict forward false. Yeah. Wait a minute. It is correct. Did I misread? Did I misread something? Did I forget to compile? I think it did misread. Ah. Oh well. You can watch the video later. Okay, let's try it again. Tracking backwards. Predicting backward. Yes, that's what we want. And then tracking forward. Predicting forward. Yes. Actually, let's make our life a bit easier. The suspense. Hey Danny, maybe you want to do a stream. Danny, help me. How do you OR? How do you OR and grab? $3.15 or $3.31? Hi, Lex. Yeah. With a slash. No. Oh, I need to remove the backslash. There. Okay. So backwards, and we are going backwards. forward, and we are going forward. So that's fine. Clear. We're still going forward. Then if we go in the middle, we're still predicting backward, predicting forward. If we clear, we are predicting backward, predicting forward. Possible to read. Well, Danny, you need a bigger phone, obviously. Well, okay. So when the development will switch to the VSE2? Well, the thing is, Rickard is working on VSE2 from the code side. Francesco is helping him a lot with user level designs and usability verifications and whatnot, so it does happen. It just, with the current amount of power we have in there, it just takes a bit of a time, but there is some progress which seems to be quite cool. Okay. Tracking forward works. Tracking backward. What? Why did we fail though? This is interesting. Let's edit as a new file. Because for this boy we did fix. So this is an interesting phenomenon, which could be a separate issue. So let's make it a bit bigger. So what happens, so here, with the original file from Sebastian, we can track backwards, it works, and from reading the log, it tracks the proper direction. We can go here and track, and it jigs the proper direction, but as you can see, it doesn't really match in the path between previous track and the next track. And what's more interesting is here you can track this forward, you cannot track it backward. But that could be something else. So let's first finish. Where's my terminal? There is my terminal. Yeah, no, Sebastian. But that technically might not be a bug because it does different reference frames, right? So it's the correlation might be slightly different. So it might not be a bug, but a feature. But we will look into it. We still have some time. So which bug was that? Yeah, frames looks easy. it's it's fascinating. In some of the tricky frames, we can reliably track them rock solid, but then we fail in some easy stuff. I don't really type fast. Now let's see if my cache. Let's see if the CAPI got broken with the extra functions we introduced. No, Danny, don't grab your laptop. I object. Keep my stream quiet. Maybe tracker feels insulted by easiness. Yeah. Hey Lopa, yes, I am doing a live stream. I think it's the fourth one. It's a real challenge. Yeah. You are welcome. So what is this prediction algorithm? I think this is well, it is Kalman filter, that's for sure. The exact how do the exact level of derivatives to which we go, I don't really remember. Yeah, it seems like it's velocity. It goes to translation and velocity, and it's used to deal with some tricky shots where it's how do I put it? So basically, in some cases, your motion is quite extreme. So for in that thing without prediction, we would need to keep your search area quite big, which has two downsides. One of them is the performance, because you would need to scan the entire search area for the best match. And another downside is that if you have similar looking feature appearing in that big search area, then your marker can jump into the wrong feature. So with the what we do with the prediction, we say, okay, so on the next frame, the feature is somewhere in the neighborhood of this position, so that allows artists to have smaller search area, and also the way how algorithm deals with the case when prediction was successful, it just refines the position, which requires way less computational steps. So it kind of both performance and stability of the track. Okay, so it did compile without libenv, so that's fine. The build is not broken for anyone. So technically, we can just go ahead and I think we can go ahead and now Sergey types his SSH add-on. Let's see, what is our beacon level? 293, beacon 1. New features, yay! Yeah, Sebastian, we can totally break Blender. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Done. Now maybe poke the build bot. Star build. Okay. Wait a minute. Did I compile in run Ninja from 2 threads, as in 2 Ninja instances? Not sure if it broke something or not. No, Danny, you look into, I think it's called the Scorpion gaming chair. I think that's what you need and that's what you want. Hi, Stefan. Actually, I need to reply in the report. Because David suggests that it should be a corrective for the 292. I don't think so. Compile failed. Oh, the tests. Oops. Oops. Okay, this part we forgot. Hey Francesco, how are you doing? What do you mean sunflower? it's cloudy. Oops, what's this? Oh yeah, what did happen in the meantime? Because was typing is just updating the test for the API changes. Super awake. Well, let's run the entire suite. Yeah, common filter is amazing. I want to learn C++. Well, just pick a small idea for the project and just go for it. Try to code it. That's the only way to learn a language. Well, Kalman is like predates all those AI type of things. Teach me what you are doing. I am waiting for the compilation to be finished. It's almost like a Zen. Or meditation. Wait, then what are you gonna to plant? From where are you learning? Great question. Depends. Some of the stuff, like algorithms and whatnot, you learn from white papers, which are being published on many different platforms. Some of the more technical things, like with the modern C++, you either read what's coming in the new standards or read something like not guidelines, but like some of the books which tell you how to properly use. Why is tracking backwards so much slower? That's a great question. Don't really know why. Was it always slower? And also, does it matter if you clear the frames before? Is it because the video inputs? Usually prefetch, or you work with the image sequences. So, that's in some cases. Well, Sebastian, I'll tell you what. Go to this help report a bug menu item. I don't think we will be able to look into details into this issue today because we are almost running out of time. But I would really like to look into why the tracking backwards is slow, especially since if it's sometimes. And in this case, Sebastian just assign the report to me. That's totally fine. It's just in some other areas and whatnot, it's if you assign something directly to me, I'll probably reassign it to someone else anyway. Okay, let's see what did we break. So the unit test passed. Let's see if anything else fails. No problem, Sebastian. That's fixing mistakes from the past. It's fine. It's fun in a way. It feels very nice to go back to these parts of the code. Like in car service, always slower. That's a good one. Goodbye, Techlapi. Hey Sebastian, on a completely unrelated topic, is it more exciting to have in-house developer or live streaming developer? Bug report. Not sure what exactly that means, but I'll check it. Both are nice. Both at the same time. Yes. And yeah, for the interface part of the previous patch, I unfortunately didn't have time to catch up with the discussion. So that's still on the list to be figured out. Unless magic happened and stuff did figure out without me, which would be very awesome if it did happen. Okay, tests are passing. Spreadsheet. Ooh. Show number of filtered rows. Ooh. Can we change the algorithm for tracking? Depends. I mean, there are all the settings to do different models and whether or not to enable brute initialization, but it's always the track region with some of the smartness for the prediction and the brute initialization when needed. So from the interface configuration, cannot really do anything else. If you have some ideas for other algorithm or something, you can implement those, but I'm not sure if that's what you mean. Okay, so the billboard has been poked. Interesting. So Linux seems to be passing. Oh, that's nice, it was quite quick. Yeah. Yep. I think it's all fine. Okay, so let's quickly look into what's that failing tracking backward is about. We have about 10 minutes. What? What? What's that about? Isn't it debug libmv? Am I becoming progressively more confused? Did it come out without libmv? Libmv is on. Okay. Well, it doesn't recognize debug libmv for whatever reason. Am I misremembering something? I used it just a moment ago. Debug libmv, yes, it should exist. Eh? What's going on? Oh, come on, please, be fast. Let's call this one. Yeah, maybe it is because I'm playing with the past. Good point. How's it called? The butterfly effect. There we go. Do we? Yes. There we go. Okay. Ah! Now it's even smaller because I need to move it. Ah, actually I don't need to move it. Let's move this window. So this, drag backwards and see what happened. So predicting backwards. Final predicted. Prediction failed. Huh. Trying to track anyway. So why did the prediction failed? Norm 5. Huh. And yeah, this is what I was talking about, brute initialization. So, but then that's interesting. And what's the norm when you do the forward? Predicting forward, and norm is quite small. Huh, that's interesting. Well, what do I have in the options? Where are even the options? Tracking settings. Ooh. So it matches the keyframe. But then what's... Okay, so if we create a keyframe, it keeps tracking. So see, Sebastian, that's where it would be very helpful to have all those previews for the keyframe, because it's using it from somewhere here, but then we don't really know, don't have easy way to compare those two. Yeah, you see it's getting this one, and this one is quite similar, but if you do this and this, it also seems a bit more different. So that's why it might be calculating that, hey, your correlation between two frames is too small, so consider that prediction failed, and then the brute initialization also fails. It might be it, but I wouldn't mind doing it a bit more investigation, probably over the stream, and see what's what. But this is exactly the case where, which was inspiring a lot the work I did for the 3 previews. So, but anyway, so if we put the keyframe here, and track, it works. Tracking backwards was slower. Not impossible, but I don't really see a reason why would it, so it's interesting to look into. Well, so what if we put it to the previous frame? Yeah, for the previous frame, next Monday, yeah, I guess. So the previous frame matching, tracking just works reliably in both ways. Let's see. Successfully predicted. Yeah. So I think it's all caused by the difference in the reference frame the tracker is using. So not really a bug per se. So this I would leave it alone for until we have figured out how to put 3 previews in the interface. So I don't know, I think for today we are done, and we successfully fixed a bug, which is yay. Well, the previous, I don't think previous frame or the matching frame does affect the performance. It might affect some sliding or missing the track, or like losing the track, but it shouldn't affect the performance. Unless there is some, I mean, we do have some things for the caching, what the tracker is seeing, so it might be something in there. But generally, if you prefetch all the frames, I wouldn't really expect any slowdown depending on which frame you're using for the reference. Prediction, it might be failing. It need to have enough frames at the tail, so to speak. So if you're tracking that way, so it needs to have enough frames from this side. But if you created a report, I'll see what's what. Very curious what it is actually. So stay tuned for that. It'll be an interesting one. You're welcome, Victor. So I suggest we call it done, and I wish everybody have a nice evening or night or day, whatever it is in your time zone. Let's see. Okay, well, I think we totally can call it done. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and see you, I hope, next Monday. Bye. And stream.